Welcome to the first episode of One of One. My name is Miranda, and today I'm joined with a very, very special guest, S6ixPencesoko.
Hey.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. So this guy is an amazing rapper, but for those who don't know you, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Basically, first of all, I just want to say, before I say anything, thank you for having me.
Oh my God, thank you for coming.
Yeah, I'm S6ixPencesoko, as you heard.
Yeah.
And I'm a rap artist. I consider myself a lyricist, a storyteller.
Yeah.
I make music, rap music. I'm originally from Zimbabwe, born and raised. Moved to Australia when I was 13. And I've always had a love for music. And I just try to use music as like a communicating tool between me and the audience to kind of tell my story and hopefully inspire somebody that's listening,
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, talking about the love of music, when did you first get that kick, that first realization moment that like this, I love music? It might not have been rap specifically, but just something that made you feel like I love music and I want to pursue this.
Through love of music, we have to say I listen to a lot of Lupe Fiasco.
Nice, that's a good artist.
Yeah, so, and I just remember listening to Lupe Fiasco and thinking I didn't know what he was saying, but it sounded cool.
Yeah.
And it was like a lot of words, and the way he said it made me, think wow.
Yeah.
If I could do that, then I would be cool in my mind. That's how I thought about it. So, basically I just started writing and honestly kind of biting Lupe Fiasco at the same time, taking some of his lyrics and trying to make them mine. At first.
That's how you start.
Yeah, and then I kind of just through that, I kind of kept writing and wasn't really recording.
Yeah.
It was just more writing. And then, eventually, it was just a process. I eventually started recording and making songs and putting them out there, and then people were like, this is not so bad. And then, now I'm where I'm at now, so it's just Lupe Fiasco. I would say that's the person that inspired me in the beginning. He kind of lit that spark, to just make me want to do it and pursue it. And also, just the fact that he was saying something in his music, I think that was the thing that inspired me to want to do it. So, yeah.
And jumping off from what you said, you already mentioned Lupe Fiasco being one of the people that made you do it.
Yeah.
But what and who inspired you? Because sometimes you develop this love for music, but you never really pursue it because you think, is it gonna work? You know what I mean? You have the passion, you have the kick, but to really pursue it and go ahead and do it is another thing.
It's another thing.
So what and if who inspired you to go ahead and actually put action to it?
Okay, so besides Lupe Fiasco, there's a few other people. Early on, Lil Wayne,
Mine too,
early on, yeah. So because I grew up on a lot of even though it was different music being played around the house, my cousin, because one of my cousins used to live with us, and he was obsessed with Lil Wayne, so he always had Lil Wayne songs playing all the time, and I would say that's one of the early on inspirations as far as what hip hop was. That was the very the one person was Lil Wayne in the beginning. But then, man, I can name a lot of people, but there's a guy called Locksmith. He's an underground rap artist from America, very low key, not a lot of people know about him.
Yeah.
But I find that I relate more to his music, and what he talks about. So he definitely has inspired my style to some extent as well. So so those are a lot of the people. But as far as people who are not artists as well, I would just say my other cousin, and shout out to Tino, you know what I'm saying? But he was the person that really told me early on when I was still in Africa, he can really do this, So he inspired me and still inspires me to this day because he believes that I can actually do this and make something of it. So.
And when you decided to do music, did you ever have any doubts? Or did you just have confidence from the jump to be like, oh, I can do this?
Yeah.
Or did you have some moments where you're thinking, is this gonna work out? Do I have the talent? You know, you analyzing all those things. Did you have any doubts, and what was that like?
Man, I wish I just had confidence from the start. Like, to be honest with you, that would be so cool to say. To be like, how is you? But no,
I could do this.
yeah. But that's not the truth. Like, I definitely had doubt. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a lot of doubt, and
what
that's
was going
why.
through your mind? What was it that was?
It was like everything that you just said. You know, like you don't know if you're gonna actually be able to make something of it.
Right.
You know, because especially like from where we come from, you know, like Africa, you know.
Yeah.
And even Zimbabwe, you know, specifically. So it's just like it's not really looked at as something that to be proud of, because not a lot of people think that it's attainable. Like, you know, it's something that like it seems so far-fetched, you know. So that just me knowing that as a kid, I just didn't believe that I would be able to even do it and make something out of it, you know. So yeah, like I definitely had a lot of doubt. Yeah. So in the beginning, but you know, it's something that kind of goes away.
How did you overcome it though? How did you get out of that phase of doubt and thinking you're low and all that? How'd you get out of it? In case other people want to know and they're going through it right now.
To be honest, I feel like, if I'm being completely honest, it's like sometimes I feel like the love for doing what you do is the thing that's always going to be present. Like, if you really love it, no matter how much you have doubt or whatever, you still can't help but do the thing that you love.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
It keeps pulling you, doesn't it?
Keeps pulling you. Like, for me, I cannot stop just making music.
Right.
Even if I'm thinking like, man, I don't know if I'm ever going to make it, I still cannot stop actively writing. And like,
you hear a beat and you're like,
and you're like,
I want
to rap, you know. So I would say, like, even to this day, like, I still get moments of like, it's not as strong as before, you know, but I still get moments where I'm like, man, like, I'm doing all of this, but like, you know, I don't know if it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, like, it's just like I'm taking a chance. You know? Like, I'm putting my effort and putting my all into it, but I don't know if it's actually gonna happen. So I would say that the self-doubt for me, you know, and if you're an artist, you know, a lot of people might be able to relate. Like, the self-doubt, there's always gonna be some part of it that sticks around.
Right.
But I feel like at the same time, it's kind of good that you have that little bit of self-doubt and that fear that checks you and lets you know, like, because it's something that's important to you.
Right.
And if it hurts you to have that self-doubt and it's doing something to you, then that means you care about it. You know, so I would say, in terms of trying to overcome it, I would just say, like, you know, continue to do it as much as you can, whatever it is that you want to do. And at the end of the day, I feel like nothing should be able to stop you as long as you love what you do.
Yeah.
So, like, that's how I would look at it. But I can't tell people exactly how to overcome
self-doubt completely.
Yeah, because it's like, for me, it's still around in some cases.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm not completely perfect. And, you know, so it's just, that's what I would say.
You mentioned earlier that you're a lyricist. You consider yourself a lyricist.
Yeah.
What inspires your writing? What message are you trying to get across when you write and when you create? What is it that drives you, and what message are you trying to get across?
For me, the message that I'm trying to get across is the message to be, like, just comfortable in your own skin. Because as somebody, like, it took me a long time to be comfortable in my own skin.
Right.
You know, and that's all because of different experiences that I've had in my life, you know. We all have insecurities and, I don't know, things that we might not like about ourselves in the beginning of, you know.
That's true.
So I would say, like, the message is to just be comfortable, you know, with yourself. You know, that's why I try to, you know, be as transparent as possible with my music.
Yeah.
Like, if you listen to my music, you will know certain bits about my life immediately. Like, you don't need to go looking for it. Like, it's just there.
It is
there. And I do that because I want to showcase, you know, a certain level of comfort within, you know, within myself. Say, like, okay, I can talk about this because I'm at a point now where I'm like, I'm okay with who I am, you know what I mean? Yeah. So the message is really to just be, you know, be yourself, and also just inspire people to dream, you know, bigger than what they're used to, you know, which is why I'm currently trying to push the lofty-minded you know.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that later.
Yeah, you know, the whole lofty-minded movement. It's basically to just inspire people to think bigger and think outside the box, basically. So, yeah.
Actually, you can elaborate a little bit on the lofty-minded. What does that mean?
Okay, so the term lofty-minded, well, just lofty, the word itself means like something of extreme height, you know, like something big or whatever.
Yeah.
That was also inspired by Locksmith, which is the guy that I talked about before.
Yeah.
And his album called Lofty Goes. And that's one of my favorite albums of all time, like rap albums. Like, it's crazy, like it's the best.
I'm gonna have to listen to it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to listen. Like, it's so relatable on so many levels. But, and the storytelling in there is just amazing as well. So, yeah, like, I took the term lofty and just basically tried to make it my own, you know, and try to put a spin on it. And yeah, like basically the movement is just about like being able to dream big, you know, and not being afraid to go after that, whatever that goal is, like that big dream that everybody calls you crazy for. You know, that's basically what it's about. So yeah, that's what the Lofty Minded movement is about. So
how has the support been? Is there a difference from when you started? Were people in your ear like, maybe don't do this, you know, maybe be a lawyer, a doctor, you know, there are other things you can do. You know, how was that, how has the support been from family, people around you, and is there a difference from when you started, the support from when you started and now?
I would say like in the beginning, it was definitely like, nah, don't do this.
Right.
You know, like it was like I just remember like being around like family, and I was just like, somebody, like one of my cousins would just mention like, oh, do you know like he raps or whatever, and then like my uncles were just like, it's a waste of time. Yeah. Don't do that. You know, like my auntie was like,
there's no money in
it, you know, like it's a waste of time. As long as it's a hobby, it's fine. Yeah. You know, but just don't try to make it a whole actual career, you know? Yeah. So I definitely had a lot of, well, say a lot of people, relatives, friends that were against the idea in the beginning. And I specifically remember having a conversation with one of my friends, you know, and he was like, and I was telling him, I was like, man, I just want to, you know, kind of like buckle down and really pursue music, like full time. And he was like, bro, it's a waste of time. Like, you're not going to make it, you know. And I can tell you right now that that friendship ended real quick. Right. Because like, you know, the way that I processed that, to him, he was just like, he was saying, oh, I'm keeping it real, you know. But for me, I was thinking like, no, like I want to do this. Yeah. You know? So.
Because you need to have friends that encourage you.
Yeah.
Even when they don't see it, they'll be like, but try it and let's see how, you know, how it goes.
So, yeah, like the support wasn't there at the beginning, but right now I would say I have a very strong support system.
That's what's up.
Yeah, you know, and one of the people that's really supportive is actually my mom.
Oh, yeah.
Because ever since I made the song Freckle, you know, and the experience, you know, like what happened in the song, like what I talk about, she went through the same thing, so she was able to relate to what I was saying. And I remember when I showed her the video for it, she kind of like was getting teary and stuff. And so she realized that like, you know, I'm not making music to talk about things that are, you know,
not related to you, but you're talking about,
I'm talking
like,
about, I'm telling
heart.
my story, So, you know, so in terms of support system, I would say, like right now, it's just, you know, it's good because I got my mom, and I also, you know, I have my girlfriend that supports me, you know, and yeah, you know, it's just, it's good, it's been good. So, yeah.
And I know you released an EP in 2017, Little Bravado, which is on SoundCloud if people want to listen to it.
That's it.
And there's a track I was listening to, Ground Zero. Yeah. And you talk about how your low self-esteem basically crippled you in pursuing music. Now, can you explain to me that whole song and about low self-esteem basically and pursuing your dreams? Because I think a lot of people have, you know, they have this passion for something, and not just music, but for something, but they have low self-esteem. And it makes it very hard to even make the first step. So can you tell me just about that and your experience and how you overcame it and all that stuff?
Yeah. As the world tends, I struggle to conversate with the man in the mirror like, how come I'm never proud of who mirrors me back? Look Looking back at the times, it couldn't be any clearer. My low self-esteem was stopping me writing my tracks. Was mad at myself cause I couldn't write these raps. My friend said if I dumb it down, then I'd be the best. Just follow the trend, it's quick to get to the check. But never mind that. I'm starting off on ground zero with this pen and this pad. Clinging to my imagination, that's all that I have. Trying to 10 daydreaming into big skimming. So I'm writing till my palms get heavy. I really wanted that better, man. I need to get a grip, cause I don't go outside anymore. Like yo said, I don't like shit. Man, I wonder if the times will shift. Man, I wonder if my girl gon' split. Cause I'm without a single penny.
To be honest, I definitely think the low self-esteem part of it, you know, like if you just to give like better context, like when I made the song,
Yeah.
Ground Zero, like I felt like I was at a low point in my life, like it was very, very low.
Right.
Like when people say rock bottom and they describe like, you know, I came from rock bottom,
Yeah.
you know, meaning like they had nothing. Like that's how I felt,
Yeah.
you know. And I was around the time I lost my job, and you know, and felt like I had no sense of like direction where I wanted to go, and the music thing wasn't really working out, you know. And at the time I was just stressed financially, you know, like I wasn't working, so I was broke, had no job, and
all of those things.
Yeah, music
Just
was
the
no
bottom,
working,
yeah.
you know. So I really felt, and that resulted to a lot of low self-esteem.
Yeah.
You know, because I
It can really affect your mental health.
yeah,
as well.
yeah, you know. So I just felt like, you know, really bad, you know. So, but how I overcame that, I would say, it's just the music. Like I always say, like, you know, music is a means of like catharsis, which is like letting out, you know, how I'm feeling and frustrations and things like that.
Yeah.
So like, I would just say like, once I heard the instrumental for Ground Zero, I kind of like, it was just like, it was just like, this is what I'm gonna talk about.
Right.
You know, so it wasn't like it wasn't premeditated or anything. Like it wasn't like I thought about it like, oh, once I go broke, I'm gonna make a song like this. It was just like in the moment I was listening to instrumentals, and I had that beat, and it just like everything fell into place. So for me, I would say like, you know, if somebody, for those people that have low self-esteem and they're trying to get over that hurdle and try to chase their dream or whatever, I would say first of all, if you get around people that inspire you, or like try and obsess over the people that you look up to and see what they're doing, or like, you know, try and find anything that gives you inspiration or that burst of inspiration, and and see what they're doing, and hopefully that will help you, you know, build your self-esteem up as well. But the only other way really is to just like, if you love what you do, you're gonna have to just dig deep inside yourself and find, you know, something that gets you over that hurdle. Because unfortunately, like, I don't know exactly how you can go from you know, having low self-esteem to not. You know what I mean? Because I can't really tell people to say, oh, you know, this is what you do.
Yeah, these are the steps.
Yeah, I can only speak from my point of view. Yeah, so I would say my advice would be just, you know, start somewhere. You know, like regardless of what people say, just start, like, you know, start doing something.
Yeah. And I want to go back to when you said you had a moment where you felt like this music thing is not working.
Yeah.
Right? And I think patience is a big part of anything you want to achieve. So tell me, how has your patience changed from when you started and now? Because, you know, sometimes when you start something, you think, if I just work hard enough, in 3 months, something should happen. You know what I mean? And then it doesn't, because music is really hard to get into, and everybody's doing it. You know what I mean?
True.
So sometimes other people may see other people achieving these things, and they'll think, but I've been putting in the work, and I'm not seeing results in it.
That's
so
true.
Can you tell me your experience with patience, how you've grown in patience throughout the whole process?
Okay. I think earlier on, I definitely wasn't patient at all. Like, you know, I remember when I finally decided, and I was like 14 years old, and I was like, okay, I want to do this. Like, you know, I want to make it as a rapper, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so what's everybody doing? Like, how's everybody doing it, you know, that wants to rap? And I'm looking at YouTube videos, and it's like, oh, you know, kid kid goes viral after doing a freestyle video.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's it.
Let me do a freestyle.
That's what I need to do.
Yeah.
You know, so I was like, okay, get my beat, do a freestyle, post it on YouTube,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking like tomorrow morning,
1 million
1 million views,
right?
and I'm out of here. And I'll tell my mom like I don't even want to go to school anymore because
Oh, wow.
I'm rapping now, you know.
Yeah.
No, like and obviously stay in school to everybody, but
Please do.
but you know, it's just like at the time, I was so excited, and like I thought everything would happen so quick.
Right.
So in the beginning, I definitely wasn't patient at all. Like I would do that, like put a YouTube video up and be like, why is it letting this blow
Yeah, you
up?
put so much pressure on yourself.
Yeah, no, why didn't this blow up? Like I
Yeah.
thought this was supposed to happen.
This was fire.
Yeah.
I know this was fire. Yeah.
So it's only like, it was only when I was like 18, 19, and I'd been doing it for a while, and I started to realize that I put a certain time frame on myself.
Yeah.
Like when I was 14, I would be like, if I'm 16 and I still haven't made it, that's it.
Yeah.
I can't do this anymore because I've just missed my time.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I used to think about it. But then, like I said before, the love for it, you know, it just remained. You know, like it's something that kept me going over the years. So as I've grown older now, I've come to realize that, you know, it's a slow process. You know, like the thing that people call like the overnight sensation, like you know, like it's not a rude thing.
Yeah.
Like when you really think about it, like it's a very rare. If it is a real thing, it's a very rare thing. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, very.
it's only an overnight sensation to other people because they only see your success.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't see everything else that it took to get there.
One of my favorite tracks from Little Bravado is Freckle.
Yeah.
Right? I listened
Yeah.
to it over and over again, and you had a lot to say. It was really
Yeah.
deep,
Thank
and you
you.
touched on identity.
Yeah.
Finding yourself, and it's like what you said before about, you know, people being comfortable in their own skin.
Yeah.
Now, how has your identity process changed over time? From the beginning, all your struggles and everything, knowing yourself and being
Yeah.
comfortable in your skin, how has that changed now?
And I was that same little red-born, freckled face, out of place. Went around with $5 Nike shoes, ones without the laces. I was trying to fit in, I was trying to be them, like, yeah. Drowned in my low self-esteem and freaking those highways. Stuck to the fear routine, the same as always. Desperate for some validation, like, man, I hope they like me. I swear I act politely. Never understood why they quick to cut me outside and shit. Is it cause of what I look like? The white kids that I look black, the black kids that I look white. Then I ask myself the same question all the time, just who am I? Afraid to look myself in the mirror like, man, I hate that guy. Mocking faces looming over me, while they comfortably call me a pale-faced monkey, and I chose to listen. My mama says that I'm special when it's cause I'm different, but it's kinda hard to relate. Last time I checked, I was that same little red-born, freckled face, out of place. Went around with $5 Nike shoes, ones without the laces. I was trying to fit in, I was trying to be them. But the cool wouldn't have it, cause my tone is different. When alienated becomes an understatement. This black dots all on my face has got them filled with hatred. Who the fuck am I? Who the fuck am I? Yeah. And just who the fuck am I? Who the fuck am I? Yeah. I am my mother and father's child, little red-born Negro. My complexion leads to complexities with other people, so they often gaze at me less amused and just more confused. Cause my being black is just not good enough. Oh, in that case, you must be white.
I think, you know, Freckled, like as a song, I made that song for the kid that was me, you know, like I
Right.
made that song for that little kid, you know, like because I made the song obviously like later on in my life, but you know, in terms of identity, it was a struggle for me when I was growing up because it just so happened that, you know, no matter what school I went to, or like, you know, it just so happened that I was the only kid that looked like me,
Yeah.
you know, and everybody else was, you know, so it immediately made me a target for like comments or like, you know, anything that people had to say, and you know, having freckles.
Yeah.
So I struggled obviously when I was a kid because I kind of was like, I didn't know what I was. Yeah, you know, I didn't know where I belonged. I didn't know, like, you would have some kids say like, oh, you're not black enough to be with us. But then you have some kids, you know, some kid would say like, you're not white enough to sit with us.
Yeah.
You know, so
you're just in the middle.
it was just like, where are you? You know, so that led to a lot of confusion, you know, when I was a kid. And no matter how much my mom was trying to tell me, like, you're you, and that's all that matters, you know. It was kind of hard to still pinpoint exactly who I was.
Yeah.
So that was the struggle when I was a kid. But now it's changed where it's like, I don't care as much, you know, how other people kind of view me or what they decide to say that I am. I just know that, you know, I am me. I'm Brenton.
Yeah.
You know, and yes, I have freckles, and I'm very proud.
What?
I'm proud to have freckles.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just.
It's funny now. Everybody wants freckles.
That's the thing, you know.
Yeah.
I saw a video about people trying to get fake freckles.
Right.
You know? So
and you're like, they used to diss me for this.
yeah, you know. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, like now it's just like I've learned to accept, you know, who I am, and yeah, I'm like again, like I was saying, the message that I'm trying to put out is to be comfortable with your own skin. And I feel like right now I'm at that point in my life when it comes to identity that I am comfortable in my own skin.
Yeah.
So, you know, whatever like other people try to say I identify as, whether people are like, oh, you know, black enough or, you know, white enough or whatever, it's just like, I don't care.
I'm me.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
I'm Brenton.
Yeah.
And whatever color you think I am, that's up to you.
Hey.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
I'm not really looking for that anyway from
Yeah.
anybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically, yeah.
Yeah. Now I keep up with you on social media. I follow you on Instagram, and I know that you have a project coming up on the 25th of June, if I'm not mistaken. But for your fans, it comes out earlier.
Okay.
Nobody makes it as a rapper. Can you just tell me about that?
Okay, so I actually wanted to talk to you about it. It's a single.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, my mistake.
It's
Yeah.
a single.
Right.
Yeah, it's a single.
Yeah.
But I am working on a project.
Yeah.
But the single, Nobody Makes It as a Rapper,
Yeah.
is yeah. So it is available to, like, I'm supposed to actually release it to people on my email list today.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited for this.
Yeah, you know. So yeah, I'm excited too because it's a song that basically touches on something that we touched on before, which
Yeah.
is like the support or lack thereof.
Yeah.
You know, and it basically talks about that, like, you know, just hearing from a lot of people that are around me, like, nobody makes it as a rapper.
Yeah.
You can't really do this, you know, like, that's what a lot of people seem to think, you know. So it talks about that, but it also talks about the fact that sometimes when people say things like, nobody makes it doing this,
Yeah.
they're kind of projecting their own fears onto you.
That's true.
Like, it's not necessarily that it's not necessarily them hating you or being
Yeah.
mean to you.
Yeah.
It's actually like, you should feel sorry for somebody when they say to you, nobody makes it doing this.
Yeah.
Because
they probably had something that they
Yeah,
wanted to
they wanted
receive,
to
but
do-
they were too scared to do it.
and they were scared,
Yeah.
you know. So that's what it's about, you know. It touches on, you know, those kind of things, you know. Like, yeah.
What
like,
was the
I'm
process
excited.
like making it? How long did it take to make Nobody Makes It as a rapper?
To be honest, it took me a while
Yeah.
because I rewrote a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
There were certain lines that I thought were like too direct.
Yeah.
And for anybody that knows me, I don't like things to be like, in terms of writing and rapping, I don't like it to just be blunt
Right,
and
right,
have
right,
no sense of like creativity or like something, I don't know, just something cool or like tricky about it.
Yeah.
So it took me a while, but the first initial lines, you know, when you hear the song, you know, like, they didn't take too long at all.
Yeah.
Like, I heard it, like, everything starts when I hear the instrumental sometimes.
Right,
So
right,
I
right.
heard the instrumental, and immediately I came up with those lines, you know, the first two lines.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, and it's just, it's like a domino effect, you know.
Yeah.
Once you drop one, and everything else follows, you know. So, but yeah, I'm super excited for that song.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's different, but it also showcases my storytelling ability, which is something that I'm really good at. So yeah, like, I'm excited to drop it. So.
Yeah, I'm very excited to hear it as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I saw you perform at the African Collective event.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Thank
I
you.
was just like, wow, it was your presence, your energy,
Yeah.
everything was just dope. And I was like, you're good. I saw it, and literally I was trying to get your attention after.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to, because it's just like, because everybody was just around you, they're like, yo, you're so good, whatever. And I was just like, I want to talk to this guy, but I don't know how to approach him.
Yeah.
And we ended up talking and like,
Yeah,
you know,
it was
kind of
good,
connecting and stuff. And you're really, really talented.
Thank you.
Hands down.
No, thank you.
Now, where can people find if they want to listen to Nobody Makes It? And all your other music, where can they find you? Where can they follow you? Keep up with you, stalk him if you want to. Feel free.
All right. Yeah, like, no, it's hard now to continue on what you just said. But no, like, yeah, you can find me on, you know, SoundCloud, Spotify.
I'll try and link everything down.
Yeah, you know, YouTube. I'm on a lot of platforms. Like, I feel like basically when I distribute my music, any little app that you have on your phone to listen to music, you can probably find me there.
Yeah.
Because that's what I try to do when I put the music out there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but also I just want to say real quick, shout out to the African Collective.
Oh, they're bomb. Yeah.
You know, for that event that we
they're literally the main reason why we connected.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
If I hadn't showed up, we wouldn't know each other.
Yeah, we wouldn't have been doing
we make
this,
connections with people. That's really good.
I just want to say shout out to them.
Yeah.
For that opportunity as well. So, but yeah, so yeah, you can find me everything social media, Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just 6ixPencesoko.
It's just 6ixpence. Yeah. So it's 6ixpence with a 6.
Yeah.
So it's S6ixPencesoko. SOKO.
Yeah.
You know, so 6ixpence SOKO, anywhere you can find me, YouTube. Just look up, just Google say 6ixpence
Just
SOKO.
Google it, you'll find it there.
There you go. So, but yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much
Thank you
for talking to me and giving me your time to just talk about your projects and you. And honestly, this guy is super talented. I think people should just be on him. Honestly, don't sleep on this guy. This guy is fire, honestly. But that's it for today. I'll see you next time. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time.
Spoon bread that's probably stuck in this bubble. Like what you know about slavery when all my people would suffer. Like what you know about being a shade ducker. Just face it, you ain't shit, you a freak, you just that. Same little red born, freckled face, out of place. Went around with $5 Nike shoes, ones without the laces. I was trying to fit in, I was trying to be them. But the cool wouldn't have it, cause my tone is different. When alienated becomes an understatement. These black dots all on my faces got them filled with hatred. Who the fuck am I? Yeah. And just who the fuck am I? Yeah. And I've been trying to find all these answers for almost all my life. Been stuck living life in a limbo.